would like to invite thank everybody for being here, and then tell the listing office I appreciate their attendance at the meeting as well. And the first thing we'd like to do before we got started is we need to make an agenda amendment. We have received a resignation from our vice chair, Ms. Sharon, and I'd like to make a motion. I entertain a motion to accept that we make an agenda amendment for that. And then also we'll need to elect a vice chair, and then we would like to make an amendment to elect a new secretary, because I was former secretary and that position is also vacant. So we have two vacant positions we would like to receive an amendment for to amend the agenda.
Make a motion.
I'll second that.
Okay.
You're next, Larry.
Yeah.
All right. The first thing I'd like to do is open the floor.
Vote on that.
Oh, I need a vote that we would make this motion go forward.
Okay. Approved.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Unanimous. Sorry. I'm rusty at this. It's been several years since I ran.
We'll
this
get
part
you
of
into
it.
shape.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much. That so I guess the first thing we need to do, since we amended the agenda, let's go ahead and make a motion that we accept Sharon's resignation.
Okay. I make a motion. I'll second.
Okay. All right.
Keep the meeting going.
And while we got this going, while this part is open, since we got that part done, do I have anybody that would like to volunteer to fill that position? Anybody that's interested in filling
Vice
that
chair.
position? Vice chair, sorry.
I'm willing to, since you
Okay.
asked me.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Lisa is willing to accept that
Hey,
position.
thank
Do
you.
I have,
Yes.
I guess we need to.
Mr. Chairman, we probably need to vote on the
Separately.
separately, accepting her resignation.
Yeah.
You got a first and a second. Probably need
Okay,
to-
sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's fine.
Got ahead of myself. Let's make a vote then on accepting the resignation from Miss Sharon.
Favor?
Okay. All in favor? Unanimous.
Aye.
Any opposed, I guess I should ask you. All right, and like I said, the next thing we'd do is like to open the floor for nominations or volunteers that would like to fill that position. And Miss Lisa has said she would be willing to accept that position. Is anybody else interested in that position as well?
I would move that we nominate Lisa to be our vice chair.
All right, with that, would like a vote on that?
Second.
Okay. Who
Need
seconded?
a second?
I'll second.
Now, would like a vote on that position. About show
All in
of hands.
favor?
Sorry, all in favor? Show of hands. Any opposed? Unanimous.
Okay. Congratulations.
All right, now the next one we have, we're good with that, right? Sorry.
Yep.
The next one we have is electing of the secretary. So do we have anybody that's interested in fulfilling that position? Larry?
If I knew what it was, I would.
George?
I'll-
It's just, the secretary position basically is taking the minutes and the notes, but actually William does that pretty much every
Yeah,
meeting.
okay.
So it's just,
Okay.
if he wasn't here, you would need to accept that role to take minutes, notes, that kind of thing. Is that correct? Does that sound right?
And I'll put my name in for nomination.
Okay. Does anyone else want to put their name in for a nomination? Okay. All right, we'd like to make a motion. I'd like to entertain a motion that we accept George's.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor? Show of hands, all in favor? Any opposed? Unanimous.
Very good.
All right. Now I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So
Mr.
moved.
Chairman, I think that Sharon served both as the vice chair as well as the treasurer. Was the
She did. Didn't do that part.
do we want to do that as well? Continue to do that, or we want to elect another treasurer, or what do we want to do?
Let's continue that same scenario. If it's okay with Miss Lisa, we'll just let her do those same roles, if that's all right.
Yeah, what is the role of the treasurer?
Well, you'd have to sign on the bank. You'd sign on the bank, and then, of course, in my absence, you would fill in and do you know.
Both of you would be able to.
Yeah, we both
check
have
sign
to,
it.
Yeah.
we
Okay.
both sign checks. It would give you, you'd have to go to the bank of day, sign, that kind of thing. That's what
Okay.
that is for.
Shall we just deem the motion to elect a secretary to be secretary-treasurer?
Yes.
We'll do
Would that be
this-
okay with you, Robin?
Wait a minute,
Was it
secretary
vice chair?
slash treasurer.
No, not
Sorry.
secretary.
Vice chair treasurer.
Yeah.
Robin?
Vice chair.
Do
Really,
they,
the bylaws require that we nominate, or that we have both officers. It really would be better if we just do it separate. I mean,
Okay.
we name who you want to, but I would do it separately.
Okay. I would accept, a motion that we nominate Lisa as secretary, treasurer, sorry,
Treasurer.
not secretary, treasurer.
So moved.
Second,
No, second.
all in favor? Any opposed? It's unanimous. That fix it? We're good? Okay, sorry.
Typically, the bank wants a letter that's
She'll have
approved
to
by
go
the
to the bank
board.
and do it.
Well, there
Yeah,
needs to be a
Dr. Cantrell's up.
resolution from the board
we'll,
that,
we'll take they take the minutes of this meeting.
oh, okay, that's fine.
And we'll take them down there, and then Dr. Cantrell's already on there, and you'll take the place of Sharon.
Okay.
All right, thank you. We're good? All right. I'd like to entertain a motion to dispense the reading of the minutes and approve the minutes from our regular meeting held on June the 20th.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all approved,
Approved.
Yeah.
unanimous. All right, on the financials, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the financial report for the month ending May the 31st.
It would be June 30th is what the financials are.
I'll go with, says,
Oh, okay,
reading
I'm
over
sorry.
here, May 31st, sorry.
It's it's a typo. It's like June 30.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right, sorry.
My mistake. The reports are June 30,
Okay.
end of the year, end of fiscal year.
I'd like to entertain a motion, we accept the financial report.
Make a motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's unanimous. All right, we'd like to, I'll give my report now. This morning, we opened bids on the roof project over at the CHI Memorial Building. And we got two bids that came in. Actually, we have three bids. We have two here that's open. One was, you want me to give the amount out? $55,000. And the second one, you got it over there. I got it over here. Second was $59,700. I'd like to make a motion that we would, or I'd like to entertain a motion that we would review both of these and maybe go back and negotiate, because in our bid opening process, we did put in that we are allowed to negotiate these prices. So I think what I'd like to do, if it's okay, we could go ahead and approve these, so we wouldn't hold up the workmanship, but would let William negotiate with him to the best price he possibly can.
Our director would do that.
Okay. Is that
And if
okay
he,
with
if he
you?
delegates
Absolutely.
to me, that's okay.
Okay. Does
It's,
that make
it's
sense?
an Evanstone.
Okay. All
So
right.
that's
Well,
for a full replacement of the,
it is a full replacement of the existing roof. And
Which
with
is 30 plus
warranties.
years old.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
30 plus years old.
Yeah.
You know, we just had it patched up again not very long ago, and so it's holding right now, but this is something within the next 60, 90 days, we need to make sure they're working on it. But, you know, if we hold another month off of approving it, so that's why I think if we could go ahead and do that. Is that okay, Robin? We do it that way?
Yes, that's fine.
All right.
And these, are these local companies, more or
One
less
is
local?
one is Pritchett Roofing, which is out of Holly Springs, and the other one is a Trenton. Well, where's this development authority from? That's Degree Roofing. I don't know where they're from.
Winder.
Winder, Georgia.
We do have one by email out of Madison, Georgia, the one that did the Shaw Building.
Do you have that, number? I didn't have that.
It was 55,000.
55, so we have two bids at 55 and one at 59. So I would say we're gonna be 50 plus in that area. And I think that our, do we need to do anything as far as, I think we were 36 prior to, we thought it was gonna be around 30 to 36 now.
I think we have 36,000 budgeted.
It's 44 in the new
44.
budget.
So do we need to make,
44,000.
we need to ask to adjust that, or we're okay?
I think it'd be okay waiting to find out what we can negotiate. And
Evan
then
has
after
very-
that, we may have to ask y'all to amend the budget to be able to use, whatever funds we get the lowest price for.
Well, my question, or what I would like to see, if we could approve it based on whatever the lowest William can get them, and we can go ahead and say, okay, go ahead and get the materials ordered.
Can
So
we-
we're
can
not
we do
waiting
that,
another
Robin?
month. I don't know.
If we get it, let's say that we're able to negotiate to a dollar amount, but it's above what we've got approved in the budget, can they give us the authority to make the necessary payments in the budget? I mean, or do we need to come back to the board and ask them to amend the budget?
So would we cut the check prior to the next meeting or?
No.
or-
No, it won't
Okay.
be.
Then no, I think we could go ahead and authorize you all to negotiate that up to a certain dollar amount. And then before we cut the check though, we will need to come back in to amend the budget.
Okay. All right.
So I'll make a motion that our director negotiate with our roofing contractors for a better fee to determine which is the best path forward. And I guess you have approval to do that.
Second.
Yeah, I'd second that.
Okay.
I mean, they're both proposals.
Well, there's
just-
three.
I mean,
There's
Yeah,
one
there's
that's
actually
here,
another one
number two,
sitting
five,
there,
yeah.
so.
And just to, before you take a vote, Mr. Chairman, in the RFP and the packet, we reserve the right to be able to go back and negotiate. So they know in advance, once they give us the bid, that we're gonna come back and try to get them to save a few dollars.
And just
So
for the
it
record-
was in the bidding process.
Yes.
For the record, the bids are not quite apples and oranges. We have a bid for 45 mil and we have a bid for 60 mil. 45 mil typically, in this case, also carries a shorter warranty period. 60 mil carries a longer warranty period. It's probably about a $4,000 difference, and we can discuss that at the next meeting. So what we'll do is we'll nail down that. That's something to discuss. We have a month now to finalize all this with the vendors, and we'll come up with something we can bid on, vote on.
And of course, we'll keep you, Mr. Chairman, informed on what we're doing, and you can relay
sir.
to any of the board if necessary.
All right.
So we need a vote on that motion to authorize our director to negotiate.
We accept the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. All right, we're going to the director report.
All right, William, if you, of course, you had a couple of weeks into this, but I think most of it is continuing, so I'll go through a process. We've got an executive session that we'll have to go through because of some leases that we've made some progress on, and we'll talk about that coming up. We just talked about negotiation. Robin, is there anything new on the CHI lease extension that you've seen come across? I have not.
Yeah. Now I spoke with Russell Elliott last week, I think, and really I think we're down primarily, as I say, really on one issue that having to do with an allowance for the tenant improvements to the building, and we're still quite a bit of a distance apart from that. So we've still got some work to do on that issue, but other than that, that's really been about it. I don't think they have to have something done until October, and they're not moving really fast, but I do think that we probably need to get back with them on that, and I'll be working with Evan and William, whoever, to see if we can wrap that up. But that's really the only big issue I see still out there.
All right, thank you. The other is the integer lease renewal, and we'll talk about that in executive session. Some good news going forward with that. I believe that we'll be able to and possibly need to vote on after we come out of executive session. We've already went over the building repairs for the CHI building. just a little cleanup on aisle 3 that Robin was able to help us with, and you can speak with this. The Trenton City sewer system was actually on paper when you went to Q Public. It was said it was owned by the Dade County Industrial Development Authority. And so I went to Robin and talked with him. The mayor had brought it up. He didn't understand, and I said, well, we'll find out. And evidently at some point in time, that land was owned by the IDA, that where the city sewer system is at. Now, whether we floated the bonds to help them build that, I mean, this is way back decades ago. But Robin was able to find the deed, and we did deed it back. Is this correct? We did deed it back on June the 7th, 1989 to the city of Trenton. And I made the necessary, I went down and talked to Paula, and she made the necessary changes on the Q Public, so we now do not, on paperwork, own the Trenton City Sewer System land. So all of that's just a housekeeping thing that had never been done. You know, the Beltline integer update, I do know that they have cleared some hurdles with Georgia Power and have told us that we should be able to move ahead and close in the next 45 days, and probably within 30 now. So when they let us know. Have you heard anything else, Robin?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Okay. Do want to talk about, I mean, obviously we've got the lease that we were, that Nathan has been gracious enough to give us an office for William, and we're paying $250 a month. You know, when we had to leave the county offices, William didn't have anywhere to technically go. I do. I have an office, and if he had had a secondary office, we wouldn't have had to go find a place. I mean, it's not advantageous to bring. Some of you have been in his office, but it's not where you would want to bring, you know, potential clients. Nothing wrong with it, except it's inside a warehouse. You know, do we want to continue paying that $250 a month? Now, I do know that the new building that the county is going to build, according to Ted, will have an office for the IDA in there. So it's only going to be a temporary thing anyway. But it was a board vote to put William down there, so it would need, Mr. Chairman, a vote to stop that. I mean, you know, I would suggest if the board has an appetite to do that, that we, you know, do it over a month. We just don't, you know, we need to give him an opportunity.
Yeah.
It's a month-to-month lease, but I think we need to do that. It's eventually going to happen anyway. It would be up to y'all to be able to do that.
So William, are you working from home now, or do you need an office, or what's?
I'll be working out of Evan's office, actually.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's going to have a
Okay.
key, and he'll have all access to anything that he needs to at any time.
So you don't need the office either?
Right. No, I mean, we really don't. We needed it because we had to have a place for William to go, because he didn't have another office. But, I mean, obviously, just like I told you the other day, if you were in that position, you've got an office that you could, you know, utilize that. So that would be, it'll have to be a board vote at some point in time for us to let Nathan know.
And we have to determine what the final date will be so we can give Nathan a notice.
Oh, yeah. You know, and probably whatever it is, we give him at least 30 days. And then,
So
if
do
y'all
we need
wanted
to vote on that today, or just?
you know, y'all can, you know, as we get down after this report, y'all can, wherever, Mr. Chairman. Since it's on the agenda, Robin, about the office lease, I'm assuming we can do a vote.
We could, however, I'm not really hearing that we're taking an action today. Am I right about that? I mean,
I think
No.
we probably should, though, make that decision to give notice.
If we're gonna
Yeah.
do it, if we're gonna give a 30-day notice, we need to.
Right, we need, it was a board decision to lease it on a month-to-month basis, so technically it should be a board vote to give him 30, 45-day notice or something, and give us an opportunity to be able to move what's got to be moved out of there.
Oh, no, I agree that with a month-to-month lease, you should give 30 days notice. I guess the question is, are we taking an action on it today?
We would like to, if the board, at the board's pleasure, to have the chairman call for a vote. And that way, and you know, obviously, if they want us to keep that, we could. But I was just asking because it's technically on the agenda under IDA office lease. So we don't have to even amend the agenda. It's on here if the chairman wants to take a vote.
Robert, hey, Robert,
Yep.
what I would like to do is entertain a motion for a vote to, terminate the lease on August 31st, which is about 40-something days from now. That would give them the whole month of August to get cleaned out, that kind of thing. Does that sound like that would work?
Just to me, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to terminate the lease on August 31st.
Okay.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's unanimous.
The second meeting, and I do want to recognize, we do have one of our county commissioners here, Lamar Lowry, and he sat in on this meeting that is still very preliminary, but we had our second meeting, and basically the IDA and the Economic Development Office for the city of Trenton and Dade County is facilitating these meetings with a very, very large potential residential development. We met with both engineering firms. Dr. Cantrell, the chairman, he was here. They're still trying to get their due diligence done as far as infrastructure, as far as, where do we get sewer from, how much water, and things like that. But it seems like they are moving ahead with it. It's still not been made public, so I just wanted to give y'all an update. And they've asked us to facilitate yet another meeting here in the near future with some other potential folks that are going to have to be in the mix or whatever. So we'll continue to let you update if it moves forward, and once the owners want to make that public, I think it's going to be a great a public announcement for the county for sure. Last meeting, y'all authorized an upgrade on our computer system. The computer we've got, I think, is adequate to the point. I would like to be able to, and here's the situation. One of the things that I met with by phone a week ago Friday with Steve LaPont at the Integer, the manager, and he was wanting to be able to, can you log on where I can send you, and we could look visually at some documents. And I was away from the office. I would like to, and I don't even know if it even requires a vote because you've already authorized the money to be able to buy a computer. I'd like to be able to buy a laptop that would be mobile, that we could take anywhere, and then if we have a situation where William or I or anybody that needed to go on and like a live chat or see some documents or something,
PowerPoint demonstration.
we wouldn't have to go down to a stationary place. We'd be able to do that. And I don't, Robin, the money's already been allocated for a computer upgrade, so does that need an additional vote, or is that sufficient?
So, yeah, I'm going to take a vote if we're spending money for it, but we don't need how much is in the budget for it?
$800.
$800, which will be well sufficient for that, I'm sure.
I'm going to take a vote. I don't know what that would require, but I would do it just to be safe.
You're
So-
just talking about a laptop?
Yeah, a laptop instead of a stationary
Desktop.
desktop. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Seth, does that sound reasonable? This guy over here is a real expert on that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, so.
It's,
Pick one out.
Huh?
I'll help you pick one.
All right, good deal. Seth is here, and he's going to help us pick one out if the board passes that. That's for sure. And the IDA computer upgrade is on the agenda, Mr. Chairman, so you can take a vote on that.
I'd like to entertain a motion to get a laptop for the director.
I'll make motion.
Okay, I'll second.
All in favor? Any opposed? It's unanimous.
Mr. William, on a couple of our projects before I get out and finish the report, which I'm just about finished, is there any updates on the 3 projects that we are currently working on that you know? I know there hasn't been any movement in the last 2 weeks.
No, nothing new since
Okay.
our last meeting.
All right. The only other thing under the where I was working down for the matters of discussion and the director's report is course, you'll come back to it as the election of an advisory committee member who we have here. And then other than that, we are pleased to have now Spencer with us from the North Georgia Joint Development Authority. He or Senator Mullis have agreed to come to our meetings every month, giving us an update, and we want to be more intertwined to be able to work hand in hand with the projects that we're doing. And of course, I've been on the JDA now for 11 years, I guess, a long time, and I'm glad that they're wanting to be able to help us and facilitate everything. So, if it's okay with you, let him go ahead and give his report.
That'd be fine. You go ahead and give us a report.
Yeah, absolutely, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for allowing me to be here today, for one. And we've been very proud and pleased to work closely with Evan, William, George, and the team of county commissioners here in Dade County for some time. You know, we talk about all the time that when it comes to economic development and industry recruitment, it takes a team. We're blessed to have a really good team here in place in Dade County and Northwest Georgia. We've been continuing to see an uptick in requests for information throughout this year, and what that is when companies reach out and ask us to submit sites that meet their certain requirements. We've received a large number of those this year, frankly more in these first 6 months than you'd normally see in a full year to 2 years. So we're hopeful to continue to see that level of activity and land some of those here in Northwest Georgia and in Dade County. We've been working with Evan and William on the ongoing projects. They've been keeping us informed, and we look forward to assisting with those in any way that we can as they move forward. And certainly when anything can be made public on those, we all look forward to that, should we get to that point. One of the major focuses for us this year has been going after grant funds for Northwest Georgia and our region. We've been very successful in that as we've crossed over 37 million so far in grants for our 4 counties this year. A large amount of that which came to Dade County through some broadband grants. And then, you know, one thing as we talk about tourism that we've been very proud of to continue to work with is our partners up at the Macklemore project. I believe that's going to have true regional impact when it comes to attracting tourists and travel, hopefully conferences as we move down that road with their hotel and things like that. But we've been working very hard and partner with our counties to help try to bring in grants to upgrade specifically water and sewer infrastructure as well as broadband. So we're going to continue to do that, continue to partner with Dade County and with our state partners in every way that we possibly can, and look forward to, I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody has any. But other than that, we look forward to being here every month and telling you what we've been up to for the last month to try to help Dade County.
Well, we certainly appreciate your time, and thank you for coming out and sharing that with us, and we look forward to your monthly report.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I will add, if I can, Mr. Chairman, that the JDA brings us a set of incentives that we're able to give to our local industrial partners based on the number of employees that they have over a given time. And just because the commission has been able to put the money in to be a member of the North Georgia Joint Development Authority, every business in the industrial park that qualifies gets an extra $500 Georgia tax credit just by virtue of us being a member. It's thousands of dollars for them. It's a very small amount for what Dade has to put into it as far as the economic money is concerned. But the employers like Vanguard and Integer and all of them that have several hundred employees, it's a lot of money to them. So for us being a part of the JDA, it's kind of like a no-brainer, you know. And and the commission has been very, very open to include that into their budget every year.
Yes, sir. And just to clarify, it's a statutory $500 additional job tax credit per job that stacks with the Georgia job tax credit. So it's very powerful, attractive tool for the prospects and current employers.
Over 5 years, it's
right, and that's on top of everything else that he's doing and coming and giving reports and doing the RFPs. This is just something that is a tangible, and in your business, all about that. Yes. So it's very valuable for what y'all been able to do, Lamar, to be able to make sure that we're a part of the for the investment. And I'll say one other thing, since Spencer is here, it's been a pleasure for me to be on their board, but it's based on capita of what we pay. We pay so much per person, and we're the lowest population. So we're the lowest contributor to Dave Walker, Catoosa, and Chattooga County. But every county gets 3 board members. So we have the equal representation, even though we're the smallest check that they write or they receive, but we have this, we have the same representation Dade County does as Catoosa or Walker, and they pay significant amount more money based on their population.
Thank you.
Who else is on our board from Dade County?
Stacy
Yeah.
Prater,
Yeah.
and just recently Shannon Henry is now on the board from the Bank of Dade.
Okay.
Thank you for that report. Evan. All right. And at this time, I would like to talk about Mr. House, Seth. I think everybody here knows Seth. Does anybody have any questions about it? Well, Seth, I reached out to him about becoming on our advisory committee, which, he would be here to lend his expertise and chime in at any time. He just wouldn't be a voting member, but he would be a member that would be here and attending our meetings. And I'm very familiar with his expertise over the years. He's really been helpful to me at times and to our community as well. So I would like to entertain a motion that we nominate and put Seth on our what's called an advisory committee. I'd like to entertain a motion for that.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Any opposed? Unanimous.
And Mr. Chairman, Adam's on the phone down there on the other end, and of course he served in that position, and when a vacancy came up, the county commission actually moved him up. Well, he may not be on there anymore.
Lou? I just heard it beep. You're back on. There we go. Okay.
Not
We
only
lost
enough, Adam, we were just talking about you because
Yeah, as soon as I heard my name, my phone clicked.
Congratulations, you're now our new chairman.
I read that in the paper.
That's the way I think it works. You
yeah.
hear it, read the paper, then they tell you.
Yeah, if you don't show up to the meetings, be careful because you're liable to be anything. Oh my goodness! But I mean, that's a perfect example. That he was on the advisory committee and it came to several of the meetings, so he kind of knew what was going on. So, Ted was able to get with him, and then they actually put him on the IDA. So he already had some background, and don't necessarily have to work that way. But with Seth and the chairman can bring on as many as he would like, as far as an advisory committee.
Okay, thank you.
And the only other thing that I have at all is in executive session, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. One other thing I would like to bring up while we're on this, before we go into the executive session, we have a lot of new members here on the board, and I would like to recommend that we do a tour of all of the IDA properties. We've spoken, Evan's spoken to the school system for me, and we borrowed, they said they'll let us use one of their buses. But basically, we would meet, in my opinion, I think we could probably meet at maybe 9. Regular meets at 10:30, we could meet at 9, take about a 1-hour tour. We could, William or Evan, either one could be the moderator on the bus. This is the next property, this is where we're at, this is what we're doing. And then that way we'd have a better visual view of how the county's laid out, and even proposed properties that we're thinking about working on for future growth. And I just think everybody on the board would be more efficient when we're saying, well, we got a road cut through, we at least have an idea of what we're talking about instead of, what I'm saying. So
I think it's an excellent idea.
And we don't need to vote on that, do we? I just need to, or do we? I didn't think so.
No, you don't.
Okay. We just need to agree that when we want to do it. Do we want to? The next meeting we have, I think, is August the 15th. We could meet at 9, and basically the meeting would run from 9 to 11:30 instead of 10:30, 11:30. Would just be a little longer, kind of thing. Is that everybody in agreement with that?
Should be good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mr. Director, could you set that up for us?
Sure, absolutely.
And we can just meet
9
here.
a.m.
I think we could meet here and just get on the bus right here.
Yeah.
And then go do the tour
Come back
situation
and
and
then
come
meet.
back. Yes, and then we'll come back to the meeting here.
Sure.
That'd be all
We'll
right.
have it done, because Josh said that, matter of fact, he's already sent me the contact to John Smith. So
Okay.
I'll be able to call and set that up, and they drive us around.
Okay. Yeah, make sure it's one of those air conditioned buses.
Yeah, we need air conditioning,
It's in
because it will be
August.
August.
Where the
meeting.
windows go down, yeah.
No, they got some brand new air conditioned buses. I'm sure they'd love to share one with us. All right. If there's nothing else at this point in time, I'd like to entertain a motion for us to go into executive session.
So move.
And it would be for real estate,
We're
real estate, yes.
Okay.
I'll second.
I have a second. All in favor? Any opposed?
Robin,
Yes.
there is one item that I'm gonna